So we'll see. Sanchi is a very good ink brush player, but I've actually never seen her break out the Nouveau. So we'll see.
I think the Nouveau has really been coming back as of recent, well, coming back as of recently, and we've been seeing ink brush happen a lot more in the meta. So I'm really excited to be able to watch her play. And as you said, you know, very formidable ink brush, someone you want to be ready to go up against here. And it looks like that's going to cause a little bit of trouble for Seasons right now, as Delete Schellendorf has come in, and I think our colors are off, actually. Forgive me there.
Yeah.
Sanchi is on Delete Schellendorf.
Yes. So something interesting that I see here is I believe it was Main or Sound who opted to go for the Kensa Splatter Scope. So very interesting choice, especially since you see most people opt to go for either the Vanilla for the Ray or for Firefin for Bomb Rush. So I'm very interested in see how he's going to make that work, just because Baller doesn't really favor Charger that well, since whenever you pop the Baller, you leave yourself exposed afterwards.
I kind of agree with you here. I also think that Baller isn't the strongest on this map because of the shape of the zone. It's very difficult to be able to roll into that zone and cap it when you pop the ball because of the block that's in the middle and the kind of plus shape that it takes on. So I would question that a little bit. I think the Booyah is a really great pick, but they just didn't have quite enough time to be able to come back in and take that over. So I think that first game is going to go to Seasons here with a knockout. And I think we're just waiting for our next game to come up, but I know that the map list is pretty set, and as we saw just a minute ago, we were looking at a best of 5 up until our finals on Sunday, which will then become a counterpick system. So it's really exciting. It's the first time SNS Splatoon has used counterpicks. So it'll be kind of an interesting new thing to bring to the game today, or this weekend.
I definitely think from all my LANs experience, we have never done that. The closest thing that was maybe sort of similar was, I want to say, Beacon, where they did best of 3 of 3 modes.
The set play.
Yeah, the set play. So that was an interesting concept. So we'll see how the counterpick system works.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. And, you know, for now, it looks like we're just waiting for everything to kind of come together here. We're going to be looking at a Rainmaker for our next game. And I think they're still choosing this map here, but they know. All right, Camp Triggerfish. What are you thinking?
I love it.
Really?
There's, you know, call me crazy, but
a little bit.
I just really enjoy the map. Even in Splatoon 1, it really favors long-range weapons, which you know, a lot of people don't like. You know, people hate that Charger or whatever backline player. They hate them. But I think it just favors long range, and also for the special Stingray. Just because it's a very linear kind of map, it doesn't have a lot of elevation changes. So anytime you have easy maps like that, Stingray is just the way to go, really. And you know, the fact that it's Rainmaker makes it it warrants the usage of Stingray. We might even see double Stingray.
Really? Double Stingray. I think it could be really helpful here. I agree. It's a great way to stop a push. I think it's good to support a push, you know, and when you're on land, you have that extra half a second to kind of make some of those really quick movements, which I think benefits a Stingray user too, because they can kind of move throughout, find their targets faster, and be able to lock on quicker. So we'll see what they decide to do here. If you're double Stingray question.
Oh, and looks like I win.
You do. You absolutely do.
Double Stingray. And looks like actually Sanchi decided to go with the, I want to say that's the Octobrush Nouveau, so missiles. And so immediately here see a fight for the pop, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to get the pop officially. But green team is automatically going to be at a disadvantage as their 52 player goes down. So purple team, I want to say that is Seasons. He decides to grab the first initiative, and already they go in 2 down, so it doesn't look like this push is going to get very far.
Unfortunately not, but it's the early push, and we have so much time left in the game that I believe they'll have plenty of time to be able to move it forward again. And Sound goes ahead and picks up this Rainmaker. Oh, Dial going down right there. So that's going to be pretty tough because they don't have someone to push ahead, and the Rainmaker carrier goes down, but not before getting that technical lead to 82.
Yeah, so now the Rainmaker is kind of in this awkward position where it's on the grates, and so green team doesn't have exactly a great way to get that back. And Gator here, I actually don't know him personally, but a friend of mine, Renegade Stars, actually was a former teammate of this player, and he's actually a very solid player from what I've heard. And definitely proving that today as he's getting some pretty neat snipes on target.
Really doing that. And I know that you obviously play Charger, so you can really respect how much dedication it takes for someone to be able to get those shots consistently, as we've seen so far in this match. And now with the Stingray coming out from Sound, they're going to just try to make sure that the Rainmaker doesn't get pushed any further up this ramp here, but they do pick it up. Mars goes for a couple of others, gets taken out before they get to that 30-point mark, but 31 is not so terrible, and the Rainmaker is in a very tough spot for them to continue. So this might be the end of the push for Seasons right now.
And you see the issue that lies within their specials. So double Stingray is very good, but what it suffers is being able to push back in, because it's not exactly the most reliable in getting kills if the people who are using it aren't as experienced.
It can be very difficult, I agree, and I think sometimes you're right. If you have that experience and you're able to lock onto those targets, it can be really helpful, but you have to know how to use the special to the best of its ability. But right now, it looks like Seasons is doing a fantastic job with their teamwork. They're making sure that Mars is covered as they push farther forward, and they get all the way to the pedestal, and they knock out the Rainmaker. So really fantastic play we're seeing coming out from Seasons right now.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that Sanchi was the last player, and unfortunately, she, as you saw there, she was trying to wrap around the around the ropes. But unfortunately, just couldn't move fast enough to catch up to that Rainmaker. And even if she did, I believe Seasons teammates would have called her out easily and probably would have just gotten splatted anyways.
I completely agree. I think that Seasons is doing, you can tell that their teamwork is really good and that they're very tight in terms of their communication, but they're also doing a great job making sure that they're constantly paying attention to where the rest of the team is. That map awareness is key for everything that you're doing within this game. So the next map mode we're going to be going to is Inkbot Art Academy with Tower Control. So this is my least favorite mode, believe it or not.
TC? How could you hate TC? It's almost like
You're a Charger player.
It's almost like the Stingray exists.
For this mode, right?
Exactly. I mean, people hate Stingray and people hate Tower Control, most likely for the same reason of just hating Stingray, because wherever you see TC, you're going to see at least one Ray, if not more.
Very true. And we saw 2 earlier for that Rainmaker game, so maybe we'll see 2 Rays again.
Most likely. I definitely think that, I want to say, Delete Schellendorf chose some pretty solid weapons. Machine is a very strong weapon, and also Custom Jet, especially since it got a buff in this recent patch, has been getting a lot more attention whenever people don't want to use Splat Charger or Splatter Scope.
Very true. And I think we still have an opportunity to see some type of range here, but maybe one of the Chargers is not what we'll be looking for. I'm wondering if Sound might swap over to the heavy Splatling, which they have played before. So maybe this could be a good opportunity for him to pick that up, because it has a little more opportunity to paint, get some turf coverage for the rest of the team, and help them out in terms of that.
And heavy Splatling definitely allows for more aggressive plays. And it's a more lenient weapon. It's more forgiving if you make a mistake. Whereas with the charger, if you miss one shot, well, you could possibly die. So they opt to, oh no, I believe that's a 96 deco?
It looks like it. It is the 96 deco. And that Octobrush is here, as well as that sloshing machine that you talked about earlier. But we have a heavy Splatling on the other side for, I believe it's for Seasons. So maybe that's going to be something that helps them out a lot here too. Mamba's coming in, doing a good job making sure to just apply a lot of pressure on this right-hand side, which is very, very beneficial for the team as they begin their initial push here. As we know with these early pushes, it doesn't always get very far, but if it can get you at least something like that checkpoint right there, really crucial to get through that first checkpoint, even just before that Stingray came out and was able to push them off of it, it's going to open up so much more opportunity for the team to just push right through when they have an opportunity to do so later on.
Yes, and so it's very imperative, and you'll hear competitive players say this a lot, is that checkpoints are extremely important, that even if you die getting that checkpoint, it's imperative that you clear it, because it makes all the difference in the world whenever you need to push back in or getting pushed back.
And right now, I think they're doing a fantastic job right here. Seasons has 3 down on the side of Delete Schellendorf, and they're able to push all the way in and knock that game out. So that is, just as you had predicted, a pretty quick 3-0 for our first set that we get to watch on stream today.
Exactly. So really in these pools, I want to give the teams the benefit of the doubt, but especially in just the nature of the pools with how everything's seeded, I know in our pool at least we had a lot of 3-0s. So in pools, probably going to see that a lot. Probably won't see a lot of 3-2s and more even matches until we get later on into to the bracket.
And I think that's to be expected as well, because we do have 62 teams registered for Splatoon 2 this weekend. 62.
Dang, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, I say, if you're going to go to a LAN, might as well come to SNS. SNS is definitely by far probably the most fun and just largest events in regards to Splatoon, even though it's not Splatoon specific.
Absolutely. But it's still really fun to see all the other players who are competing in other games. Like walking through that Smash room, although it's very crowded, there's so many different people playing, and I absolutely love all the hype that you feel from that and the energy that you can feed off of it. And anytime someone sees a Splatoon player with some type of Splatoon gear, they're like, I love that game. Oh man, that's so cool. And, we always have people come by just to check out what we're doing, so that's really fun as well.
Yeah. I mean, if they're saying Splatoon is fun, I mean, why didn't they register, come over here,